The Nigerian Senate is in total disarray right now. In fact, fear don't enter Nigerian senators because of what the US government is about to do. Remember, the US government has placed Nigeria on CPC, which is country of particular concern, based on the fact that the US lawmakers allege that Christians are being massacred in Nigeria. In fact, what they said is that there is a genocidal plot against Christians in Nigeria. Do you understand now? Now, with all this going on, the Nigerian lawmakers have agreed that they are going to visit US lawmakers to discuss the matter, because what it means right now is Nigeria is about to be sanctioned by the US government for the fact that Nigeria has been placed on CPC, country of particular concern. The next thing that will happen right now is that they are going to sanction Nigeria. And if they sanction Nigeria with this kind of economy that we have today, it means that we are crippled. We are gone as a nation. This is not what we Nigerians are praying for. Instead of them to do that, they should sanction Nigerian lawmakers, sanction Nigerian politicians that put us in this mess. Because sanctioning Nigeria itself as a nation means that we are gone. Do you understand now? Now, with all this going on, Nigeria Chief Whip of the Senate, Senator Alin Dume, has some revelations on what the Senate has planned to do concerning this issue going on. Now, let's listen to him.
Let me take it to why I invited you tonight.
Yeah.
You and your colleagues have decided that you are going to go to the United States and confront them. What will you be telling the lawmakers in the U.S.?
That what Ted Cruz and co said is not true. It's not true to say that Christians are being persecuted in Nigeria. It's not true. You know that it's not true. And thank God, you know, this thing came up from Ted Cruz, and it has been lingering around, dates back to 2020. And even it's, if in fact, Donald Trump in his first, this thing, you know, designated us as CPC, they call it CPC, that is country of particular concern, where a group of religion, you know, believers of any type are being persecuted. That is the act, you know. So that means sanctions would be applied. We had a feel of it when Nigeria wanted to buy the Tucanos. The Lee Hay, that time there was a Lee Hay law. It's now a retired senator, stopped us from there. It took the late president a lot of lobbying and some people to convince them that the terrorists have no religion concern about it. They just go about killing, and they needed the Tucanos. Fortunately, during the tenure of Joe Biden, that we were removed from the CPC list. What Ted and co are now trying to do, because of the recent incidences in the country, and unfortunately again, when a particular reverend from Benue, you know, went before the Congress, it started in the U.S. Congress before Ted Cruz case. Ted Cruz is coming up with a bill to design Nigeria specifically as CPC and also to impose certain sanctions. And this have far-reaching effect on not only Muslims, so to say, but Nigerians. Because that means, as we are fighting this war, majority, almost all the things that we use at the Nigerian security, the Nigerian army and security agencies use come from overseas. We don't even manufacture a bullet in Nigeria. So you see, when you have sanctions against a country like that, when now even with those equipment, we're still battling with the issue of insecurity in the country, and it seems to be even spreading all over. So if you have that jack on this thing of clock of not having supply of what the armed forces need, I don't know. I don't want to imagine.
So it has a heavy implication, not only our reputation, but our diplomatic relations.
But now, if you go to I don't know whether you're a citizen or not, but if you come into America and they see Sheun, they will start running and say, keep you, instead of you to spend like 15 minutes at the airport, it may take you a day, or it may not. You may not even be able to go in, because if they designate you as somebody of a particular concern or politically exposed, then you're there. No. And they are calling even sanctions on the government, people in government, and particularly politicians, even businessmen of Nigeria. It will even affect our social, you know.
So the plan of the Senate, as being raised, is that you and some of your colleagues will go to the U.S. Congress with the hope of maybe meeting a Ted Cruz himself and sit down and address the issue with the United States Congress. That's the plan, isn't it?
Yeah, it's part of the plan. But as I said, we have it's on Tuesday that you know, definite position will be taken on the prayers of my motion. They read the motion, and all of the senators, majority of the senators, I can say all the senators are in support of this motion.
You raised the motion today. What exactly was the prayer in your motion?
That's what I want to read it out for you here. The prayers are basically four. I think there are four prayers. First is to urge the federal government through Ministry of Foreign Affairs and security agencies and other relevant security agencies to enhance transparent and data-driven public communication, providing verified casualty figures and context to counter the misinformation. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, then that's the second one, is to call on religious leaders, civil society organizations, and the Nigerian media as well as foreign media to communicate responsibly, avoiding language that could inflame sectarian divisions and fostering dialogue. Then the third prayer is to mandate the Committee on Foreign Affairs, National Security and Intelligence and Information, and National Orientation to collaborate with the executive in developing a coordinated national communication strategy to present accurate figures. If we had this kind of data, and it's in the internet and everywhere, Ted Cruz can easily be referred to all this. You see, what is happening in America on the average, and I'm glad you have been to America yourself. You know they are thinking. Somebody in, what is this place, Guzape? Somebody in Guzape, throughout his life, may never be to go to Guabalada. Yeah. So all he does is in Guzape because he has the grocery store, he has everything there. So his thinking is narrowed down. And they don't have open channels of communication, so to say, or media. Because if you want to hear anything reliably or near reliable, is you have to subscribe to CNN, you have to subscribe. Here we can juggle all those media, but in Nigeria, in America, it's not like that.
You have a very strong population of Christians in the Muslim-dominated Borno state, your senatorial district. And part of what, for example, Senator Ted Cruz is blaming Nigeria for is saying there is a mass murder of Christians. And so there are those who will look at places like Benue and Taraba, in Kwara South now, and those who are largely affected by some of these insurgency or this insecurity situation are in the Christian-dominated population. Do you think that that global outlook of the situation is what has caused these reports? Because if you go to Benue, which is largely Christian-dominated, Plateau Christian-dominated, and you find out of 240-something people killed in one day, you find 235 that are Christians.
Yes.
So someone can summarize and say, there is an attempt to wipe out Christians.
I think that is the, I can say, naive thinking or the perspective that they're looking at. I give you an example. Borno State. It even started there. And it did not start because of religion. The Boko Haram started, when they say Boko Haram, it means Western education is forbidden, whether you are Muslim or you are Christian. You understand? And they go after you. As it is now, I'm speaking to you, I'm from Borno State. The casualties, 80% or more of the people that were affected by Boko Haram are Muslims from Kanuri in that area. Even now, 80% of the areas that have been displaced are the Kanuri areas. I represent Borno South. The Christian-dominated local governments, or so to say, where we have Christians, are about 3 or 4 local governments. You understand? As I'm speaking to you now, so Southern Borno is one of the senatorial district that is least affected by the insurgents. If you go to all the local government in Northern Borno, except this local government capital, all of the local governments there are displaced. They are in their local government headquarters, except recently where the governor, Baba Ganazuru, is deliberately and personally, taking interest in resettling some of these people. Even with that, the highest, my local government benefited highest in the resettlement because when he started the resettlement, 12 communities were resettled in my local government. As it is now, up to now, even in his local government, Mafa, I think there are only 2 or 3 settlement villages that he has resettled. So about how many? Getting to 20 local governments that are affected in Northern Borno where they are displaced are Muslim dominated. When Boko Haram was at its peak in 2014 or so, there were 120,000 people, Muslims, that were displaced in the far Cameroon. It was recently when the governor again makes deliberate effort to resettle them, to bring them back, in conjunction with this Ministry of Humanitarian and IOM, that they have reduced the number to 60,000. At the same time, let me give you another example from my own local government, from what we call the Goza East in the local government. They constitute about 6 wards. 60,000 of them were displaced and they ran away to Cameroon as refugees. Up to now that we are speaking, there's quite a number of them in Minwa, or what they call. But the government made effort. And let me also add that even that one, majority are the Christians, but there are still some Muslims in Minwao there. So I'm telling you that this issue of insecurity or terrorism affects everybody. I come from both Christian and Muslim family. You know that my mom is a Christian. My immediate junior sister of the same mother is Diana, and Martina and David and Naomi. Naomi was the one that on her own decided to be a Muslim again. So she became Aisha. This is how we live.
Wow.
Now let me give you the current president of Kokim in Jos.
Yeah.
The current national president of Christian Church of Christ in Nigeria. His name is Amos Mozo. He's from my local government and we are related. Then the deputy chairman of Northern Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, is Bishop Mohammed Naga. He's my brother. So what are these people that are ignorant? And as you rightly said, if you attack Goza, you are likely to hit on Christians and Muslims. But if you attack
Malafatori,
you just hit on Muslims.
So quickly, has anyone been able to reach out to Senator Ted Cruz directly?
I'm trying to do that.
I have the communication with him.
I'm trying to
educate him.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that after the Senate decision. But let me take you again. Recently,
give me a moment, sir. We need to go on another break. And when we come back, there are